Hi, this is Ashley.
And Maggie.
And you're listening to The Watering Hole, a place where animals and animal enthusiasts regularly drink. Every episode, we'll talk about different animals and why they're cool, from basic biology to the threats they face and what people are doing about it. All while under the influence. Shot. Ding.
Ew.
Why did I ask for this?
I don't know.
Usually we drink wine, and wine gets me drunk faster, where beer takes a longer time.
Yeah, so you just wanted to expedite.
So I was just like, let's get into it. Woo!
I have goosebumps now.
My little rhino shot glasses, I got them in South Africa.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? And it's got little facts on it. Well,
smells.
Oh, yeah. Can't smell that for a while. I'm getting old.
Did you see I couldn't get comfortable during your intro?
Yeah, and I kept I don't have it quite as memorized as you, and I was like, is she mocking me?
No,
like, am I doing something weird?
I didn't know how to sit.
It's hard.
I still don't.
It's like a relatively comfy couch, but
it's a very comfy
You really like sink into some of the pillows. Mm-hmm. They don't hold their shape particularly well.
Does this guy have a name?
I don't think so. My sister got him for me for Christmas.
So for those listeners who are just listening and not watching on YouTube, I just held up a stuffed animal that is an armadillo.
It is. My sister Sarah, who does listen, got it for me.
Oh.
Thanks, Boo.
So I texted you earlier this week because I got...
You got a Warmies!
I got a Warmies.
Oh, I need to get one.
They're so
bad.
Cute.
Does it work? Cute. Like, is it nice?
It just smells really good. So what I do,
like
if you don't know, Warmies are, this is not an endorsement.
If you didn't get directly advertised for these like we did.
They're stuffed animals that you can microwave because they smell good, and then they're like heating pads. And so I got a manatee, and it's the cutest. It's the cutest.
I need to get it.
But so what I've been doing is I've just been putting it on my pillow, like in the morning, and then when I go to sleep at night, it just smells like lavender.
That's nice.
Really nice.
Oh my god.
Well, I gave it a name. Oh, and that's why. That was my connection.
And what was the one you landed on?
Dewdrop.
Dewdrop. Beautiful. I don't know. I'll probably Walter.
Okay, I like that for an armadillo.
There is a screaming hairy armadillo at the National Zoo that I spent a lot of time with when I first moved to DC, which, wow, that sounds sad.
It does.
Saying it out loud. I was in a photography class with film, and they're like, pick a subject that you're going to spend a lot of time with because you have to like take a lot of photos. So I went to the zoo.
Yeah.
And I took pictures of a lot of things, but Walter was one of the ones that he was so fun and so cute. And like there was an old man docent there one day.
Was his name also Walter?
No, I don't remember what his name was, but he was one who told me his name was Walter, and it was just like, he was just so cute. So yeah, he can be Walter. He's not a screaming hairy armadillo, but
that's okay. That's perfect.
He's still cute. But yeah, so stuffed animals galore, and also for those watching on YouTube, you'll see we have a new background because I finally I finally hung my art.
It looks so great.
A good portion of it. I'm a big fan of eclectic gallery walls. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, so enjoy looking at this. You won't have to actually just look at our faces now.
If you have questions about what art belongs to who, I can try and find some of the artists, but some of these things are pretty old. But yeah, it's eclectic. It's mostly movies and TV shows I like and wildlife. So
there's a theme.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it.
But are you ready? Well, actually, any updates? It's been a while since we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to share?
I don't have anything interesting to share, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no. Do I? Do you know of anything that I should share?
I'm just waiting for you to ask me.
Oh, do you want to tell the group something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been waiting to tell you. I've told everybody so far this week that I've come across. They needed to know the story. It's not that good. But on Wednesday in the morning, I was getting something out of the fridge, and I hit my elbow on the fridge so hard. Like, you know when you hit your elbow and you like hit it at the right spot?
The funny bone.
Yeah. I hit it so hard I almost threw up.
Oh.
Like it took a second, and then I just kind of collapsed to the floor. And I was like, I called Ollie over. I was like, Ollie, can you come over here? I was like, I just needed something to distract me. I literally had to ice my elbow all day. I went to a workout later and like for the most part it was okay, but like I can't push on things super hard.
Were you kickboxing your refrigerator? What were you doing?
I don't know. Because I've hit my elbow before and gotten like the tingles or like stuff like that. But like, I literally thought I was going to pass out. It hurt
What
so
on earth
bad.
were you doing? What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Oh, that's miserable. I will say though, I can
see it? Look at that mark.
I see the mark. I see it.
It just proves to me that it happened.
I will say and sympathize though, because like also being a single female living alone, anytime so you hit your elbow, I hit my head all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time. And every time it happens, I definitely cry.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, why is life so hard to me? And then I feel bad for myself, you know.
It was a rough week.
Can anyone else relate?
And I took like a sad girl shower, and I went to pick something up off the ground of the shower, and I smacked my temple on like the soap dish.
Your temple?
My temple, and I was like, this is how I die. Like, oh my God. I was like, that's gonna hurt for a long time.
So
and
awful.
Also, like, I could just die here.
You could just die here and no one would know.
I was like, maybe eventually
dog.
Ollie would bark, but he only barks when I'm not around. He'd be like, Mom's just in the shower.
Still for 10 hours. Oh, man. All right. Well, we'll do some wellness checks on each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now that we've shared our sad stories, do you want to share an animal?
Everyone check in on us occasionally, apparently, is the moral of the story, because we might get injured. I also got the worst fucking Charlie horse of my life on Tuesday morning. Like,
man, you're just batting 1,000.
I woke up writhing in pain.
What? Okay, I've never had a Charlie horse in my life.
Especially when I guess it's when they come out of nowhere, it sucks too. But like when that's what you like, I woke up to that, and then like 2 minutes later, my alarm went off, and I was like, what are the chances? Why couldn't I wake up to the chirping birds? I had to wake up to this.
What? You woke up with a Charlie horse? That's kind of seems
no
weird.
Idea. And I drank, I was like, well, you drink a lot of water, so I really don't know. What? I eat a good amount of bananas for potassium? I mean, not for that reason,
You just like bananas?
I guess.
Yeah, they're great.
Classic.
Gotta love
classic fruit.
Gotta love a good banana.
Gotta love a good banana. Anyway,
should we start talking about animals?
Probably. Are you ready? I have to decide which one I want to do first.
Oh, okay. Well, you already know that I saw one of your animals because once again we've run into this issue where I open up our shared Google folder.
I really thought you can't see them.
And it's the first thing that pops up. And
God damn it.
And so today I texted Ashley and I was like, you have to stop naming your documents with the name of your animal. So
I feel like I know which one you know, and I feel like it's not this one.
I will also tell you this.
Okay.
I was in the middle of doing something and looking for something when I went into the folder.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even going into it for the watering hole. I saw the document and immediately told myself to forget it.
Forget!
And so
We'll see if you did.
I remember one word of the name.
Okay. All right, we're going to start with this one because this one I was like doing my research so long ago, last night. And I was getting so excited because I forgot how insane these things are. Okay, so I have 3 clues.
Okay.
And then a bonus 4th clue that I'm going to tell you now, which is I technically could pick one of the species, but really I'm doing them as a whole.
Oh, cool.
group.
Okay.
So number 1, they have small or absent eyes.
Okay.
Number 2, they have no limbs.
Okay.
Any guesses?
So it sounds like the basilisk from Harry Potter.
It does, but it's not.
Okay.
Number 3 is not going to help you. The biggest one can be 5 feet long.
Is it some kind of salamander?
It's an amphibian.
Okay.
It's related to salamanders.
Gila monster?
No, that's a reptile.
Oh.
I heard it still already did them.
That's why it sounds familiar. Do I know this animal? Are they found in the desert?
They're not found in the desert.
Okay.
They're usually found in like South America, in the tropics. And they're definitely not particularly well known.
Okay, then I don't know it.
I am doing caecilians.
Oh, I do know
Do you
them.
know them?
It's spelled C-A-E.
Caecilian.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I was like, technically, I was like, I'll do the Thompson Sicilian, which is the biggest of them.
Okay.
The one that grows up to be 5 feet long. But other than that, there's really not that much that's, like, they're all pretty.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of them.
Okay.
But do you know what they look like?
I think I did at one point, and the reason I did was because in high school I took Latin for 4 years, and my Latin name was Caecilia, which is spelled the same, C-A-E-C, but in Latin the C's are hard K sounds.
Gotcha.
And so, like, when I was learning Latin, I learned whatever this word. Oops, sorry, microphone. Sorry, listeners.
Just throwing it around.
When I was in high school and I learned what this root meant, that's when I discovered them. So it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Tell me all about them.
So basically, they're the amphibious version of a worm.
Okay.
So they legit just look like giant worms. I mean, technically, I guess you could say they look like snakes. They're limbless, they're long, but they're legit just giant worms, but they're amphibians.
Okay.
So they have really long cylindrical bodies. They're usually pretty dark in color. Their skull is kind of like bullet shaped.
They have a skull, which means they have bones.
Yeah, think like a frog or a salamander, and you just you stretched it out.
Stretch it out and
took
remove all
off
its limbs.
But yeah, that's why it's weird because it looks like a worm, but it's got bones. It's got a skeleton. Has a really hard skull, especially compared to like salamanders and frogs.
Yeah, me too.
Very strong built skull. We'll get to why that's important.
Oh, yeah.
Has fused cranial and jaw bones. And legit, did you watch SpongeBob at all?
Like when I was actually a kid, not when I was an adult and it still was cool.
Okay. Do you remember the episode with the Alaskan bullworm?
No.
Okay. That's kind of what they look like.
Okay.
Again, literally just think of a giant worm.
Okay.
It's very accurate. Their skin is slimy, and they have these ring-like markings or grooves. Again, like a fucking worm. Like, they're just, I don't know.
That's the title of this episode, like a worm.
So some are as small as actual worms, like a couple inches in length. And then there are some that are 5 goddamn feet long. So they really range in size.
Are they 5 feet long and like really skinny or girthy too?
I think they're still, the girth grows with the length.
That couldn't have been said more perfectly.
So, quick side note about Sicilians. So Sicilian means blind ones. So like I had mentioned in the clues, most of them either have really small eyes or absent eyes.
They don't need them.
I get to it later, but they basically just see shadows.
Okay.
But so the word Sicilian, when I learned about these guys, I didn't know about them until I went to college and I was in my social organization of mammals. Nope, that wasn't the class. It was a different class. What fucking class was it?
I don't know, it wasn't there.
They're not a mammal. Anyway, I was in a class where we were learning about Sicilians. Vertebrate zoology, that was the name of the class.
Great. I also want to point out that it keeps sounding like you're saying Sicilians, as in like the type of Italian.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So, when I first learned about these things, in order to remember what they were called, this was my roundabout way of remembering it. I remembered what a Sicilian was because of the line in The Princess Bride that Vizzini says, his last line. You fell victim to one of the classic blunders, the most famous of which is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this. Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. And then he laughs and he dies. But, spoiler alert. But so that line made me think of them. And then there's a scene in The Princess Bride where those like eel things are swimming through the water, before they get to the cliffs of insanity. Yeah. And that's my roundabout way of remembering what these things were.
Whatever kind of mnemonic device works for you.
Right? Now I know what they are, but every time I see them, I think of that line, and then I think of the eel thing, the screaming eels in the water. So if that's
so
how
every time you watch The
them.
Princess Bride, do you think of Sicilians?
I don't know if it goes in reverse.
Okay.
I don't know. It might. So that's how you can remember them. But believe me, they will become quite memorable to you. But they are in the order Gymnophiona, which means naked snake. Now I want you to guess how many living species of Sicilians are there?
How many living species of caecilian are there? I don't know, upwards of like
Wait
4.
1 second. Can you move your mic so it's not
in
your
my
boob?
shirt.
Great. Perfect.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Guess how many living species of caecilians there are, roughly?
I don't know. Are there upwards of like 400?
Guess too high.
Okay, maybe like 76.
200.
Okay,
Which still feels like a lot for
that's
like
a lot.
a group of creatures that people like don't really know exist.
So this is often the case with everything that is not a mammal, right?
Pretty much.
Like-
Or a bird.
What do you mean? Or there are tons of types of birds. Like there are
I guess,
tons of
but like,
warblers.
but
there
a
are
whole,
tons of.
but a whole order,
Oh, okay.
you know, like a whole grouping that looks completely different than the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. And so, but I
So
think
I
it's
should
still.
have yes and yeah. I'm sorry. My improv skills, they're rusty.
We were just doing this earlier.
I know. We were practicing.
But I do think it's still just so noteworthy that mammals are so far removed from everything else evolutionarily. Like,
do their own shit.
We're not that unique.
No, we're not.
Okay, so 200,
200.
caecilians.
Yeah. I don't know how to say it other than Sicilian. Sicilian?
I mean,
Sicilian?
it's so funny. Every time you say it, I hear caecilian.
Should I just say that?
No, it's probably
Okay.
not said that way.
So where do they live? Like I mentioned, they live in the tropics of South and Central America, Africa, and Southern Asia. The largest one that I mentioned, Thompson Sicilian, lives in Colombia. They spend most of their time underground in soil and stream beds, which is probably why they're kind of the least known amphibian.
And why they don't need eyes?
Why they don't need eyes, but they're underground a lot, so they're not just like slithering around. Okay, you're flying in the wind now.
What do you mean?
Can you put it on both of them?
Yeah. But then if I put it on both of them, then you might see my bra.
Oh no, not a bra.
and then
we
we're-
can't know that women wear bras.
And then we're getting too familiar. We've said worse on this podcast.
Way worse. But like I mentioned, they're kind of adapted for this, for living underground. For one, again, their bodies are long and thin. Are you just making as much noise as possible to piss me off in the edit? Thanks, Maggie. But so their bodies are adapted. They got no limbs, so they don't get caught on roots.
I got no limbs on me.
Ding, ding, ding. My God.
I heard the start.
I heard
of
the
our
start,
noise.
and then I was like,
this must be a car backfiring outside.
That was your dog.
It's my dog.
And they have a hard head to help them push through the dirt.
Yeah, that's what I thought when
Yeah.
you first said they have hard skulls, thinking like, oh, they must be underground, kind of like the whole basilisk and Harry Potter thing.
Yeah, they got a shovel head.
Cool. Shovelhead, wow.
So how they move, this I just took directly from Wikipedia, not gonna lie, but I thought it was really cool. Their muscles are adapted to pushing their way through the ground, with the skeleton and deep muscles acting as a piston inside the skin and outer muscles. This allows the animal to anchor its hind end in a position and force its head forwards, and then pull the rest of its body up as it reaches in waves.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
That's what I'm assuming it sounds like. When I think of a piston, I think of like an old industrial time.
Something in an old mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what these guys are. They're definitely in a giant coal mine somewhere.
Miner hats on them, little lights. I like it. But yeah, and so that's how they move. And then if it's like loose mud or something, they're basically looks like they're swimming like an eel, which to me is kind of upsetting, honestly. I don't like it. They have little to no eyes because who needs them? Though they do have a single class of photoreceptors for dark and light perception. If they do have eyes, that is.
Okay.
And then they have unique sensory structures known as tentacles on the sides of their face. So like between their mouth, the ends of their mouth and their eyes, there's like little, cute. They're little wiggly bits. And
They're what?
little wiggly bits. But they actually don't know what they do. They think it's like olfactory. They're smelling around with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like what, there's some kind of animal that does this with, and it smells. Mm-hmm. Spiders?
Sure.
I'm just thinking of Harry Potter now, too. What's happening in the other room?
I don't know.
None of our dogs.
I'm scared. All right. Okay. So real quick, get back into Sicilians.
So do you want to tell the audience what just happened?
I'll give a brief. All right. So briefly, because you're going to hear banging in the background.
And this just took up the last 20 minutes of our lives.
Yeah, and I think it won't leave me for another couple of months. So Maggie and I were recording. I wonder if you'll be able to hear the noise. And all of a sudden we heard this loud bang, like, from my bedroom, which there's nothing on my walls in there. Both the dogs are in here with us. So I'm just like, what the fuck could it be? So we go in, and we're looking around to see what it was. And all of a sudden we hear it again, and it's something crawling around in my ceiling. Something very large in my ceiling, and it's still in there. I don't know if you can hear it.
It's moving around a lot, and it might, I don't know if it has relocated to a different part of your ceiling, but it's moving all around.
Yeah. So we don't know what it is. I'm sleeping at Maggie's tonight. Thank God she's here, and thank God I took a shot, because I don't do rodents, like, at all.
This is an ROUS, like, for sure.
This is legit my biggest nightmare. The only thing that's keeping me calm right now is the thought that I think it's more likely a raccoon that's stuck.
Because of how big it is and the noise that's coming out of the ceiling.
But my door is closed. My bag is packed when we're finished this episode. But we'll post the behind-the-scenes videos so you can hear how fucking loud this thing is.
I feel bad. At this point, like, I have to imagine it's not just rats fighting for territory.
Right, I think it's gotta be.
I think it's a raccoon that is stuck and is freaking out. And it's like, what am I doing in here?
I need it to be that so that I can sleep again.
Oh my gosh. It is loud noises.
Very loud. Anyway.
Okay. So,
Sicilians.
Finish telling me about Sicilians.
We left at a great point where I was not wrapping things up quite yet, because the last thing I want to talk about is the reproduction, baby.
Okay.
This is going to go as good as it can go right now.
Okay.
So Sicilians are the only order of amphibians to use internal insemination exclusively.
Okay.
So basically the males have a long tube-like intromittent organ called the phallodium.
Of course.
Which is inserted into the female cloaca for 2 to 3 hours in order to get them pregnant. Which feels too long.
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours. Which is insane.
For fuck's sake.
For a worm. For a fucking worm. Anyway, so I thought that was important to bring up.
Oh my god.
25% of the species are oviparous, so they're egg-laying.
Okay.
And the other 75% are viviparous, meaning they give birth to already developing young like humans do. So just tiny little worm babies.
Okay.
But this is the most disgusting part, and the thing that I remember the most from my class is that
terrific. We haven't even gotten there yet.
in order to give their new young, what they need to survive, to give them that protein, they don't do milk. They're an amphibian. Why not?
Die.
No, they give up their skin. So there's a couple different ways they do it. In some Sicilians, scientists have found that the young will begin feeding on their mother before being born by gnawing away at the swollen lining of her oviduct.
No.
This is called matrophagy.
Big old
Matra being mom, phagy being eat. So it's eating mom. I know it's upsetting.
It's really disturbing. He has to go to the bathroom.
We're almost done. So that's some species. And then there's another species. I don't know if there's other ones other than this, than Bullingarula titana. Feeds its young by developing an outer layer of skin high in fat and other nutrients, which the young peel off with modified teeth. This allows them to grow up to 10 times faster. The skin is consumed every 3 days, the time it takes for a new layer to grow. And apparently they only do it at night.
Oh.
For privacy. But yeah, so they just slowly scrape away at their mother's skin. Either in the womb or out of the womb.
That is so disgusting. Why evolution? This is one moment where I'm like, instead of cool, wow, you found your niche.
Yeah.
Why?
We didn't need this.
Not necessary.
No one needed this.
Don't.
There are other options.
There are.
And then just in terms of conservation, these guys are doing pretty okay. Their biggest threats are habitat loss, and honestly being confused with snakes and then being killed on the spot when they're not, in fact, snakes. But really, that's it. I think there was like one specific species that's pretty endangered, but
that's fine.
Most of the time, people don't know about them.
Wow.
Aren't you glad you now know about them?
That last bit is just gonna sit with me.
Sticks with you, huh?
Oh, man. It's gross.
I was like looking up everything. I was like, I feel like I remember them eating the skin. There it is.
Ugh.
Isn't that gross? Oh, just gnawing out, scraping away at it.
That's the gross.
The scraping?
We need to let our audience not sit on that either.
All
that
right.
is so terrible.
All right. Well, I guess it's your turn. I'm trying so hard to ignore what's happening in the other room.
I know. The door is closed. You're going to be okay.
I know. What if they've learned to open doors?
They haven't learned to open doors, even though raccoons have nice big hands.
Stop!
With 5 fingers.
Be really angry. I'm like, should I close this vent?
No, I don't think they're in the vent. I think he's in like the ceiling and he's banging into the pipes and things. Because at one point it did sound like he was banging into
It sounded like metal.
Yeah. Can't wait to post those behind the scenes videos for you guys because the sound.
I full on ran into a door.
Oh, it's really loud.
It's very loud. Yep, there it is.
So really hoping that the audio picks this up because it's worth it.
Every time I'm like, did it fall through?
I know.
Is it in my room?
We're gonna hear a big crash if it.
It'll be different.
I
want to get another beer.
Go get the Dirt Farm.
Ooh, where did I put I was like, I need to finish this drink.
Whew.
All right, before we do Maggie's, we had a beer. Maggie and I and a friend went on a hike, and then to this cute brewery called Dirt Farm in like Bluemont, Virginia area.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
It was so good. I just poured it on your dog.
Worst thing.
I'm distracted.
It was such a fun brewery. So, and we loved their booze.
Mm-hmm. Their nachos were good.
Those were delicious.
So good.
So Dirt Farm, if you want to send us some free beer, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'd love to. Let's clean your dog off. Yeah, we were there with 4 dogs, which perfect amount of dogs.
Oh, it was so great. All 4 dogs in the back seat with you.
Oh,
perfect.
Literally all in the back seat, not the trunk.
No.
All in the back seat.
And like all, except for Ollie, all medium to big size dogs.
Yeah.
And it's great. We could post those photos too. Okay, so my animal. This animal today comes to us as a request.
Oh!
I'm so excited.
We have a request.
I know.
Who did it?
So shout out to my dog park gang. So yeah, I'm very grateful for my dog park friends. We are all pretty close, like nice friend group. Anyway, so this, I'll get into why this animal soon.
Oh, okay.
Your hint.
Is it a raccoon?
No. So I think it's also funny that you just did a whole type of animal, like you didn't do all of the species of that type. I'm also doing the same kind of thing. Anyway, your hint. This animal is a super tiny marsupial made famous by a PlayStation character of the same name.
PlayStation character of the same. A Bandicoot!
Yes!
Oh my god, me and Christy would used to play Crash Bandicoot all the goddamn time. That was like our go-to game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Crash Bandicoot.
The first try.
I know. Well done.
It was a good clue.
Madam.
It was a good clue.
Crash Bandicoot, let's see. The name Bandicoot actually comes from an Indian language, Telugu Pandikoku, or like it's probably like Bandikoku, if you said it correctly. I don't know. I'm just sounding. I'm assuming it sounds like Bandicoot. You know.
Gotcha.
Which translates to pig rat.
Fitting.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's what's in our ceiling right now.
Yeah. There's a pig rat in your fucking ceiling right now. So bandicoots look more mousy than an animal I talked about a couple episodes ago, the quoll, the northern quoll. Mm-hmm. They are both marsupials, meaning they carry their young in a pouch, but that's where the similarities end.
These guys don't have sex to death?
They do not.
Well, then why are we even talking about them?
We only want the extremes here. If you're interested in like the family trees of the animals, kind of like I am, because they sound similar at a surface level, they're both marsupials, they're both mousy.
Yeah.
I remember describing them as mousy. If you remember like 6th grade science class, I'm taking it down a notch. I know you were very advanced in what you just described because you were talking about your grad school level classes. I'm going to take
it was just regular college.
Great. Well, I'm taking it back to 6th grade.
I love it.
So if you remember like kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Yep. King Philip came over for greasy
cheese.
I don't know.
Or spinach. Jeez. Kings play checkers on funky green stairs.
Oh, that was yours?
That was mine.
Nice.
So quolls and
you can come up.
You can come up. Quolls and bandicoots, they're both in kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, infraclass Marsupiala, but they break apart in the order. Lastly, quolls are not above eating bandicoots. So, there are about 20 species of bandicoots all over Australia and New Guinea. They're
Sorry,
found...
it's just hitting me. Quolls are not above eating bandicoots. That took a second. Sorry. Continue.
When I first started doing research, I was like, gosh, these guys sound similar, and then I had to like look up the difference between them because you guys actually are very different. The only similarity is that you're both marsupials.
In Australia.
And Australia, yeah.
Most
So
of us marsupials are. So.
Exactly. So, like I said, about 20 species of bandicoots all over Australia and New Guinea. They're found in basically every habitat, like wetlands, swamps, the outback, desert,
Love that.
forests, rainforests, everything. They are nocturnal, and these species range in size from super duper tiny, like vole or mole size, less than a pound, up to like rat size. It's just top of mind right now, rats.
Oh, is it?
Okay, so why the dog park gang wanted bandicoots?
Why?
They wanted to hear about bandicoots because one of their dogs, who is affectionately named Goku, so yes, after Dragon Ball Z, he is a reincarnation of Crash Bandicoot. His tongue is always out of the side of his mouth. He is bouncing and popping and like spinning all around, and
Perfect.
they always call him Crash Bandicoot. He definitely crashes into things. Like, I can't tell you how many times he's run into my knees. And he's not a small dog. He's like a German Shepherd mutt, and he's just like German Shepherd Border Collie mutt, I think. Anyway, So this is for Goku. Also, you mentioned the PlayStation game, or you said you used to play the PlayStation game. I did too. It was actually my favorite PlayStation game. Like, I just remember the different scenes or the different, I don't remember what they're called, but the levels.
Yeah.
But they weren't even the different levels. You had to get like all 5 rooms in a level to be able to go to the next level. But I remember them, like the colors were so vibrant, and there was rainforest.
It was peak graphics.
It was peak graphics. It was.
That's really the only, like, I don't play a lot of video games. If I do, they need to be from like the early 2000s or like mid-90s.
So
like
good.
Anything after 2010, I'm like, I don't want graphics that good. No, I want Crash Bandicoot, Donkey Kong kind of level graphics.
It was beautiful. Like, I remember the polar bears. I remember the rumination.
Oh.
Like, there was one called Ruination, I think.
Ooh.
There was a toxic industrial site. Anyway, I need to go like download this for my computer now.
Let's do it.
Anywho. So I did a minor bit of digging, and I found out that Crash Bandicoot was in fact inspired by the eastern barred bandicoot, one of the rarest of the 20 species, and part of the long-nosed side of the family of bandicoots.
Ooh.
There's long and short nose.
Is there a short nose side of the family?
Yep, that's the 2. Just
Perfect.
it. So eastern barred, like, I think you also mentioned this when I was doing quolls, when you were like, is there a banded quoll, because we were talking about the types of species.
There always is.
So the barred is just banded. It has stripes on its butt. That's it.
Boring.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Within the family of bandicoots, there was like a fossil dating back to over 2 million years ago, and it was it was given the genus Crash. So that is where Crash Bandicoot comes from.
That.
And it's one of the earliest relatives of the eastern bard.
Gotcha.
It's very cool. They love to eat worms. Maybe they eat caecilians.
They get confused and eat a Sicilian.
Yeah, that is possible.
If one happened to land over in Australia somehow. I guess it wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Or swam through the dirt.
Certainly wouldn't fly. My next note, they run funny.
Care to elaborate?
No, not really. So,
like sideways, do they kind of like gallop? Like, what's funny?
They kind of look like a rabbit mixed with a kangaroo.
So kind of hot
mixed
boundy?
with a corgi.
Oh.
So there's just a lot of quick movement, but also a little bit of a waddle in there.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, look it up. Okay, they're solitary. They only meet up to male. This is fun. They have the shortest gestation period of any marsupial. Do you want to guess how many days? How many days? It's not even months.
11.
Yeah, how'd you get that?
I don't know. Is it really 11?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
So between...
Superpowers.
Why is the word intercourse the first thing to come to mind?
I can't speak for your mind.
So between mating and having the baby...
Yep.
11 days.
Damn.
Crazy.
How small and pink and gross are these babies, though?
They're not small and pink and gross. They're like, I mean, kind of like rabbits. Yeah, a little, but they're very quickly becoming...
They're developing fast?
Yeah.
Damn.
So fun fact about them. So, I mentioned they have long and short noses. They eat worms. So they dig. Like, they don't live underground. Mm-hmm. They're living on top of the...
So they could be friends with Sicilians.
They could, but they're digging to find worms that they are eating.
Gotcha. Okay.
So here's the fun fact about them being marsupials. Their pouch is in reverse so that when the mama is digging...
And it doesn't get in there!
Isn't that crazy?
I love that! Gotta keep that pouch clean.
I know. It's so tidy. They are, however, easy prey for dingoes, eagles, and... the worst, feral cats. Conservation. So, since, colonialism entering Australia...
Ever heard of it?
Yeah. Many species of bandicoots have gone extinct because of habitat loss and invasive species. The white man. So, the eastern barred bandicoot is extinct on mainland Australia. However, they're still found in Tasmania. But using some of the remaining individuals in zoos, led by Zoo Victoria in Australia,
mm-hmm.
they conducted a conservation breeding effort on Phillip Island. So if you're looking at the continent of Australia, it's like that tiny little peninsula and an island that's right across from Tasmania.
That's where all the little blue penguins are.
So I'm so glad you mentioned that because Phillip Island is a great place for conservation work right now. It's a sanctuary to little penguins because of the lack of natural predators there. So with the eastern barred bandicoot, they went from 100 individuals up to 300 now. So this is a conservation success story in the making.
Yeah.
We're not there yet because they're not back on their...
We're never done.
Right.
But
why protect bandicoots? They actually play an important ecological role. Again, getting back to their digging.
Oh, yeah.
They are turning over soil, which helps with natural decomposition. So, just think of natural composting, right? They're helping to, expedite that. They also help disperse fungi spores, but not in, a creepy Last of Us way. It's more of a happy foraging kind of way. So that is my very quick spiel on bandicoots as a whole, with a specific focus on the eastern barred bandicoot.
So cool.
I thought that this would be just a fun taste into Crash, and also Crash Bandicoot doesn't look anything like...
No, he looks like a fox.
Mm-hmm. He looks
which
so
is
much
like
bigger.
an enemy of bandicoots.
Right. Yeah, foxes eat
which
bandicoots.
feels dark.
Anyway, so there you have it. Bandicoots.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah,
so cool.
So fun.
Little reverse pocket. Beep. I love anything that digs. Ollie doesn't really dig. He kicks, but it's still... That raccoon. Maybe there's a bandicoot in the ceiling. Maybe he got confused, thought it was dirt. Thought it was Australia.
Got real lost.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What a good pick from your dog park friends.
I know. Thanks, gang.
They got a good choice. As a reminder, though we are animal enthusiasts, we're not scientists, if you can't tell. So please do your own research. We just want to make you excited about animals the way that we are. Thanks for joining us on this episode. I really hope you can hear the noises that are being made.
I know. Anytime we stop talking suddenly mid-sentence,
because we're just
there's a big old noise in the other room.
Is it falling through the ceiling? Thanks for joining us on this episode. If you like our podcast, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening and leave us a review. It'll help us reach more animal enthusiasts like you. You can also find us on Instagram at The Watering Hole Pod, on YouTube at The Watering Hole Pod, and you can visit our website, thewateringholepod.com. Tune in next time when we learn about more animals, their biology and habitat, the threats they face, and what people are doing about it.
Yay, animals.
Maybe the raccoon will come visit.